So hi guys and welcome back. So this is our second video on the plant kingdom chapter. So in our previous video we've learned about the first division in the plant kingdom, that is the division algae. Then we've learned about the three different types of algae depending upon their colors, that is the green algae, the red algae and the brown algae. So finally moving on to the second division, that is bryophytes. Today we'll be learning all about bryophytes and why they were one step ahead of algae and they played an important role in the land invasion of plants. Okay, so let's start. The first thing we need to know about bryophytes is that they are known as the amphibia of plant kingdom. Now what do you mean by the word amphibia? Amphibia का मतलब है amphi यानी दोनों और bia come from the word bios, that is life. It has a dual life. यानी like जैसे हम amphibians बोलते हैं, frogs वगैरह, which can live both on land and water. These are the amphibians of the plant kingdom because they live on land but they need water to complete their life cycle. Okay, even though they can survive on land, unlike algae which is 100% it needs water to survive, these can survive on land but they need water to complete their life cycle or reproduce. Okay, so these are, my friends, the first land plants. Okay, and they do not have a vascular tissue. They are small in size, therefore they do not need a very well developed vascular tissue, but they can survive on land. Okay, so they are the first land plants. So let's look at their life cycle. So the life cycle begins with the adult plant body, which is also called as gametophyte. Okay, and we need to observe here that it is a haploid plant body. Okay, so this haploid plant body will give rise to Antheridia and Archegonia. These are nothing but the male and the female sex organ respectively. Okay, these Antheridia or Archegonia will also have haploid cells, right? So they will directly give rise to gametes which need to be haploid. The gametes के specific नाम क्या है? Antherozoids and egg. The male gamete is called as antherozoid and the female gamete is known as the egg. So after fusion of these haploid gametes, we will get a 2N, that is a diploid zygote. Yes, like a normal fertilization process, we get a 2N or diploid zygote. अब ये 2N diploid zygote cannot stay in the 2N condition because the adult is going to eventually be a haploid. So that is why it undergoes meiosis eventually. But before undergoing meiosis over here, it will stay in this 2N phase for some time and this is called as sporophytic generation. Okay, this is called as the sporophytic generation in bryophytes, in which it stays in the 2N stage for some time. So after the zygote will come the embryo. How will the embryo come? When the cells multiply using mitosis. Okay? Then after the embryo we have something called as the sporophyte stage. In the sporophyte stage, it again has a diploid number of chromosomes, right? So the sporophyte stage gives rise to spore mother cells. Now what does the term spore mother tell you? That ये cell से बाद में spore बनेगा. This cell will give rise to spores. So in spore mother cells undergo meiosis to give rise to spores. We know that in meiosis the number of chromosomes goes from 2N to N, that is it will become haploid, and this is what we want in the gametophyte body, right? So we see that there is meiosis in the spore mother cell to form haploid spores which can take two pathways. Now in little less developed types of bryophytes like liverworts and hornworts, they directly germinate. Okay, directly germinate करके adult plant body या फिर gametophyte बनाएंगे. पर अगर they are mosses which are a little more developed, they undergo two extra stages. पहला is protonema which is also a haploid stage, and this protonema will again undergo budding. Now these buds will individually grow to form a gametophyte. Okay, these two stages ensure कि एक spore से multiple gametophytes बनते हैं. Therefore survival chances better. क्योंकि एक spore से एक protonema बनेगा which will have multiple buds and each bud has the capacity to give rise to an individual gametophyte. So that is why एक spore से number of gametophytes ज़्यादा बनेंगे. So this is the entire life cycle in a bryophyte family. Okay. So gametophyte will give rise to two sex organs, that is Antheridia males and Archegonia in females, and these will give rise to the male gamete, that is antherozoid, and female gamete, that is egg. Now these two will fertilize to form the zygote, which will undergo meiosis to form an embryo, that is increase the number of cells. अब ये embryo बनाएगा sporophyte, again by meiosis. These sporophytes will have some spore mother cells. Spore mother cells will give rise to spores by meiosis. कैसे? Dividing the number of chromosomes from 2n to n. 2n से n तक जाएगा, ठीक है. फिर these will either germinate directly in liverworts and hornworts to give gametophyte, or they will go into the protonema stage in mosses, which will again have buds, and buds will grow into gametophytes. Okay. So this was the life cycle. Going on to other characteristics of bryophytes, we need to understand their sex organs. We have seen that in algae, the sex organs in most algae are unicellular and non-jacketed, but here the sex organs are multicellular and jacketed. So quick revision, male sex organ को क्या कहा था? Antheridium, okay, or Antheridia. And these form antherozoids, which are nothing but the male gamete. ठीक है? Antherozoid is nothing but the male gamete. Now these antherozoids are biflagellate, they are motile and they are comma shaped. Biflagellate, therefore they will always be motile, right? And they are comma shaped. ठीक है? Antherozoids. And the female sex organ here is called as archegonium, and it gives rise to the female gamete, that is egg. ठीक है? This is the female gamete. So the zygote which is formed initiates the sporophyte generation. The sporophytic generation, I told you, is that phase between the from the formation of the zygote to the formation of spores, in which वो पूरा plant 2n stage यानी कि diploid stage में continue रहेगा. So इसे कहते हैं sporophytic generation. ठीक है? This is new. Algae में usually sporophytic generation नहीं था in most of the algae. So here the sporophytic generation of 2n is maintained, and this gives rise to the sporophyte. And what is a sporophyte? It is not differentiated into roots, stems and leaves, but it is made up of similar structures known as foot, setae and capsule. In a short while, we will look at a diagram of a sporophyte. So sporophyte is that kind of stage in the life of a bryophyte which will later on give rise to spores, but does not look like an actual modern plant, but it does have some specification or differentiation in the body structure. अभी algae में हमने देखा था कि उनका thallus body structure है, यानी कि no differentiation at all. But here in the sporophyte, we see that it has some structures called as the foot, the setae and the capsule. So this is a little progress towards differentiation. Okay. The next we need to know is that development is direct in liverworts and hornworts, whereas in mosses, like I told you, they have two additional stages, है ना? So there is germination of spores to form protonema stage, and protonema will form buds which will give rise to the gametophyte. ठीक है? So दो additional stages हैं, protonema and budding. So this is indirect development, okay, because there are intermittent stages. So going on to the next page, let's look at the specifications of liverworts, hornworts and mosses. Okay. So starting with liverworts. अभी like the word liver, it means that ये plant का shape ना थोड़ा liver जैसे, it resembles the liver, इसीलिए इसको नाम है liverworts. And इसीलिए its other name is Hepatocopsida. Hepatocopsida because hepa comes from the word liver, it means liver, right? So going on to the different characteristics of liverworts. So liverworts, like I told you, are liver shaped. Example is Marchantia, or they could be flat also, like Riccia. Okay. So now we have rhizoids and scales present. So what are these rhizoids and scales? So these rhizoids are certain structures present in the bryophyte body which help in absorption of nutrients and water. Okay, nutrients and H2 absorption में rhizoids help. They basically anchor it to their substrate, and similar function is performed by scales. So rhizoids कैसे? Rhizoids are unicellular and therefore unbranched, and scales on the other hand are multicellular. So we have these two features in liverworts. Okay. So going on to the next feature, that is sporophyte is made up of a foot, a seta and a capsule. Okay. Like I told you, the sporophyte has a slight differentiation. We don't have specific roots, leaves or stems here, but we do have foot, seta and a capsule. Okay. So the next type of characteristic, sporophyte is completely dependent on gametophyte for food and water. So what does this tell us? That the gametophyte, like the sporophyte will not completely separate from the gametophyte stage. Okay, it is dependent on it for food and water because it does not have its own root system, etc. Okay. The next we need to know is that leafy members like Porella have leaf-like appendages in 2 rows. Okay. This is the beginning of the formation of leaves, shoots and root-like structures. So in leafy members like Porella, we do have some leaf-like appendages present. Like we don't have specific proper leaves with their venous system or etc. But we do have appendages which look like leaves and function like leaves in terms of photosynthesis. Okay. So going on to the asexual reproduction. So asexual reproduction takes place by fragmentation or production of special structures called as gammas or gemmas. Okay. So what are these gemmas? These gemma or gemma cups are green multicellular asexual buds. Like if this is the body of our marchantil, we can see that there are small cups rising from here. These are of asexual origin and these detach and germinate. If this portion falls off, this is capable of giving rise to an individual marchantil. Okay. So this means that gamma cups are asexual buds which detach and germinate and give rise to new individuals. This is their asexual form of reproduction. Okay. So going on to this very nice diagram which tells us about Marchantia species. So we have here this female Marchantia and this is a male Marchantia. How did we get to know? Because this has the structure called as archegoniophore, which is a part of the archegonium or the female sex organ. Okay. And here we have the antheridophore, which is a part of the antheridium. Okay. So this is the male plant. Here we have 2 small gamma cups, which I told you are asexual buds that can fall off and germinate on their own. So what are the 3 important examples of liverworts? First, Riccia. Second, Marchantia. This is the one that we see right here, which is shaped like a liver, has archegoniophore, antheridophore and also gamma cups. Okay. And finally, Porella, which has leaf-like appendages. Okay. Cool. So going on to the second important type of bryophytes, which are called as hornworts. Okay. So let's look at the characteristics of hornworts. So we see that rhizoids are present which are unicellular and unbranched. Like I told you, rhizoids are basically those absorptive structures which attach the plant to their substrate. So these are present and they are unicellular and unbranched. Scales are absent in hornworts. Okay, scales are absent. Then the body is divided into foot and capsule. So the body of the gametophyte has a foot and it has a capsule. Okay. And next is that the sporophyte is not compulsorily dependent on the gametophyte. What does this tell us? This means that the sporophyte is not completely dependent on the gametophyte. And the sporophyte can obtain some amount of water and nutrient on its own. Okay. So going on to the examples. What are the 2 main examples of hornworts? Notothylus and Anthoceros. Okay. Notothylus and Anthoceros. Going on to the third category. The third category क्या था हमारा ब्रायोफाइट्स का? Mosses. And what was special about mosses? The indirect germination stage, right? There was extra protonema stage, extra budding stage, and that gave rise to gametophytes. So let's start with mosses. So what are the characteristics of mosses? The body is made up of rhizoids, stem-like and leaf-like structures. So mosses are supposed to be little more developed. So they have rhizoids, which are a little like the roots, and they have a stem-like and leaf-like structures. Okay. Then rhizoids here are multicellular and branched. So basically the development of the root system has started in the form of multicellular and branched rhizoids. ठीक है. फिर अभी sporophyte का क्या है? Sporophyte is divided into a foot, a seta and a capsule, just like liverworts. A foot, the seta and the capsule. ठीक है. Now the capsule of moss has green cells for photosynthesis. Okay, this capsule present over here in the sporophyte has photosynthetic capability and it can manufacture its own food, right? So therefore there will be less dependence of the gametophyte of the sporophyte on the gametophyte. ठीक है? So going on to the important examples in mosses, we have example of Funaria, which is called the rope moss or the cord moss. ठीक है? Remember Funaria looks like a rope, therefore called as rope moss or cord moss. Then we have Polytrichium, which is a hair cap moss. Remember the word tricha will come later on also with reference to hair like structures. So Polytrichium yani hair cap moss. ठीक है? Then we have Dawsonia. It is the tallest bryophyte. Dawsonia is the tallest bryophyte. And finally Sphagnum. ठीक है? So these examples, that is Funaria, Polytrichum, Dawsonia and Sphagnum, are the important examples of mosses. So finally let's look at these two diagrams. The first one is of Funaria, that is I told you the rope moss or the cord moss. This is the sporophyte part, okay, this entire thing. How did we know? Because it has a capsule, it has setae and it has, no, it does not have leaves. The leaves part belong to the gametophyte, okay. This entire thing from here is the gametophyte. There will also be a foot process which is hidden beneath the leaves, okay. So the gametophyte has leaf-like structures, it has a main axis which is a stem-like structure, and finally rhizoids which are multicellular and branched. You can see them here, right? These rhizoid structure, they are multicellular and branched. And this, my friends, is sphagnum. अब sphagnum में क्या क्या parts है? We have an archegonial branch, we have an antheridial branch. Remember, antheridial branch is situated above, थोड़ा ऊपर रखा है, and archegonial branch is situated a little below. And these are the normal vegetative branches of the gametophyte body. So this was sphagnum. ठीक है? Going on to the next page, we have now completely learned about bryophytes. The next division that comes into our picture in plant kingdom is pteridophytes. Okay. Now we learned that bryophytes were called the amphibians of the plant kingdom. तो मतलब अभी थोड़ा थोड़ा land invasion चालू हो गया and they were the first land plants, but they still required water for reproduction, right? So now we have the next division called as pteridophytes, which are the first vascular plants. This is a very important line. What does this mean? That proper vascular tissue has been developed and they are more suitable for land life. Okay. So let's look at pteridophytes. They were the first successful terrestrial plants, but they need water for fertilization too. ठीक है? There has been they are the first vascular plants. इसका ये मतलब है कि they are better suited for land and they were the first successful terrestrial plants, but they also need water for fertilization. Okay. Next, the body is differentiated into root, stems and leaves. Now because they have a good vascular structure, they need proper roots and stems to carry the vasculature also. So they have a differentiated root, stem and leaf structures. Okay. So on the basis of leaves, pteridophytes are of two types. Depending upon the leaf size, they are either macrophylous or they are microphylous. Phylls here stands for the leaf structure, and macro यानी big and micro यानी smaller tiny. So macrophylous में the leaves are big. So we have a smaller stem and larger leaves. Examples are pteridium, pteris and marsilia. Okay, remember pteridium, pteris and marsilia. Okay, the next is microphylous type, which has a larger stem and smaller leaves. Okay, example is Lycopodium and Saligenella. Okay, macrophylous, pteridium, pteris and marsilia. PMP, pteridium, marsilia and pteris. And in microphylous we have Lycopodium and Saligenella. ठीक है, remember Saligenella is a water pteridophyte. ठीक है, going on to their life cycle. Now this is interesting. The life cycle. The main plant body is diploid, that is sporophyte is the main plant body. This is a huge transition guys, because अब तक हमने क्या देखा था कि gametophyte यानी कि N वाली अब तक main plant body थी, but now here in pteridophytes the main plant body is diploid. See, we had seen that the sporophyte stage is diploid. So in this plant, in this division, the sporophyte or the 2N is the main plant body. यानी कि main plant body का हम अब से sporophyte कहेंगे. ठीक है. So most of them are homosporous. That is, they produce only one kind of spore. And germination of spore is exosporic. यानी कि बाहर, outside the sporangium. ठीक है. Most of them are homosporous. अभी homosporous का क्या meaning है? Homo यानी कि same और sporous यानी कि there are two different, like male or female plant will produce the same kind of spores. ठीक है. So going on to the next page. Yes, this flowchart will tell us about the life cycle in pteridophytes. So let's see. ये हमारा sporophyte main body है ना. Then we have sporophylls. Sporophylls are 2n number of cells which will give rise to certain structures which will give rise to spores. तो क्या है वो certain structures? Sporophylls are leaf like structures which give rise to spores. They form something called as sporangia, which is like a bag like structure which will give rise to spores. अभी sporangia के कुछ cells बन जाएंगे spore mother cells. अभी हमने लास्ट इसमें भी देखा था कि spore mother cells will give rise to spores by meiosis. So this is called as sporic meiosis because we are forming spores by this meiosis. अभी meiosis के बाद we have n haploid spores. ठीक है, and we have seen that most of them are homosporous यानी कि same type के spores बनेंगे. So depending upon the spore we have gametophytic prothallus stage. ठीक है, just a second. Yes, we have a gametophytic prothallus stage यानी कि N haploid stage है. ठीक है. Now haploid spores can, this will form antheridia and archegonia stage. ठीक है. ये spore से बनेगा gametophyte which will be differentiated into two sexes. It could be either antheridia, the male part, or archegonia, the female gametophyte. ठीक है. This generation is called as gametophytic generation because it is forming gametophytes. Now the antheridia will give rise to antherozoids which are spiral and multiflagellate. They are spiral and multiflagellate. And the archegonia will harbor eggs or the female gamete. ठीक है. So our antherozoids are the male gametes and eggs are the female gametes. So these two gametes will fuse to form the zygote which will give rise to a 2n number diploid embryo by mitosis. ठीक है, I'll write here MIT, that stands for mitosis, and this embryo will form the sporophyte body. Okay, so quick revision. We have the main plant body which is 2n or a sporophyte which will give rise, which will have something called as sporophylls. Sporophylls will form sporangia which is a bag like structure which forms spores. अब स्पोरेंजा के कुछ सेल्स बनाएंगे स्पोर मदर सेल्स जो कि बनाएंगे स्पोर्स बाय स्पोरिक मियोसिस, ठीक है। नाउ आफ्टर दिस I'll change color. From this starts the gametophytic generation, ठीक है। अब कैसे चालू होती है? Spores will germinate to form the gametophyte prothallus. Thallus यानी body. So think of this as a gametophyte probody or prothallus. अब this gametophyte prothallus will be differentiated either into antheridia, that is the male gametophyte, or archegonia, that is the female gametophyte. And in these gametophytes will be formed the male and female gamete respectively, that is antherozoid, the male gamete, and the egg, the female gamete. अब इन दोनों की फ्यूजन से बनेगा zygote which will go on to form the embryo using mitosis, and finally the embryo will again form a sporophytic main plant, ठीक है। That was the life cycle of pteridophytes, okay। So here the sexual reproduction is oogamous. Remember the term oogamous? It had come in algae. So oogamous literally means कि एक gamete is big, which called the egg or oogamete, which is huge in size, immobile, and the other gamete is small and motile, ठीक है। It's comparatively smaller and motile. So this shows independent alteration of generation. That is the sporophyte and the gametophyte are independent of each other. अब तक हमने क्या देखा था कि स्पोरोफाइट गमीटोफाइट पे डिपेंडेंट था, बट नाउ सिंस स्पोरोफाइट इज द मेन प्लांट बॉडी, इट इज नो लॉन्गर डिपेंडेंट. सो स्पोरोफाइट एंड गमीटोफाइट आर इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ ईच अदर एंड दिस इज कॉल्ड एज इंडिपेंडेंट ऑल्टरेशन ऑफ जनरेशन. ठीक है. सो विच डिविजन शोड द फर्स्ट इंडिपेंडेंट ऑल्टरेशन ऑफ जनरेशन? दैट इज टेरिडोफाइट्स. ठीक है. सो गोइंग ऑन to our division of pteridophytes. So we have pteridophytes which have 4 classes. We have Psilopsida, Lycopsida, Sphenopsida and Pteropsida. ठीक है. The first one we'll be studying is Psilopsida. So Psilopsida के बारे में क्या जानना है? It's an ancient vascular plants and they have only one living genus. अगर एक ही जीनस है तो इट्स अ पोटेंशियल एमसीक्यू क्वेश्चन एंड द नेम ऑफ द जीनस इज सिलोटम. सिलोटम इज अ लिविंग फॉसिल. ठीक है. द सेकेंड कैटेगरी और सेकेंड क्लास इज लाइकोप्सिडा. लाइकोप्सिडा के एग्जाम्पल्स है एल से लाइकोपोडियम, देन वी हैव आइसोइड्स एंड सेलेजिनेला. ठीक है. लाइकोपोडियम की क्या स्पेशलिटी है? इट इज कॉल्ड द कॉमन क्लब मॉस. आइसोइड्स की इट्स कॉल्ड द क्विलवॉर्ट. And Selaginella is the little club moss. Now remember Selaginella had come in microphylla, so remember it like that. It has smaller leaves. It's called the little club moss. Okay. So Lycopsida species is in general known as the club mosses, and spores are formed on the sporophylls, and these are arranged as strobilus or cone. This is a very important thing. This, my friends, is the first time something known as a strobilus or cone has arisen in a plant. So basically these sporophylls are nothing but appendages that will give rise to spores. So they are arranged in the form of something called as a cone. So this is called as strobilus or cone. Inside this then there will be formation of sporangia, spore mother cells and spores. ठीक है. So this was Lycopsida class. Going on to the next class, that is Sphenopsida. ठीक है. So this Sphenopsida में कौन आते हैं? We have horsetails. Okay. What is the example of one horsetail? Equisetum, which looks like a pipe. So doesn't this actually look like a straight pipe? ठीक है. This has a hollow structure. So this looks like a pipe, and it also has something called as the strobilus. That is a cone of sporophylls. ठीक है. Now these have leaf-like structures and certain branches present here. So there are nodes at which branches arise which bear leaf-like structures, and between the nodes we have internodes. ठीक है. So we have these nodes from which branches arise, and between nodes we have the internodes. ठीक है. And finally नीचे we have the root-like structure, it is the rhizome. ठीक है. Rhizome is nothing but the root structure, because in Pteropsida we do have a proper leaf, root and stem like structures. Okay. So, going on to the next category, that is Pteropsida. So, plants are called as ferns, okay, and they are macrophylous, यानी उनके leaf like structures बहुत बड़े हैं, ठीक है, and their stems are comparatively smaller. Cones are not produced, ठीक है, Pteropsida do not produce cones because each and every leaf forms sporangia during reproduction. Why? This is important, ठीक है. So ये जो ferns है, the ferns that we see in our house, something they are kept for decorative purposes and all, they have big leaves, right? Each of the leaf is capable of forming sporangia during reproduction. इसीलिए उनको they do not require something called as cones or strobilus, क्योंकि those were specially meant for reproduction. Here every leaf can perform that function. What are the examples? We have Pteridium, that is sun fern, Adiantium, that is the walking fern. Okay, this has been asked in MCQs earlier. Adiantium, that is the walking fern. Then we have Ophioglossum. ठीक है, glossum, glossitis is the inflammation of tongue. So remember, glossum tongue की तरह sound करता है. So Ophioglossum is adder's tongue fern. ठीक है. Then we have Marsalia, which is pepperwort fern, and Azolla, which is the aquatic form. A for Azolla, A for aquatic. Okay. So let's look at these diagrams. This is fern, that is the last class, that is Pteropsida, and this is Salvinia. ठीक है. So Salvinia is also example of fern. It is aquatic fern, and Dryopteris. Dryopteris is the book shield fern. ठीक है. So these ferns you must have seen somewhere or the other in malls or household places for decoration. And this is Salvinia, which is macrophylous, obviously because the huge size of macrophyls. And this is aquatic fern. ठीक है, Salvinia. Going on to the last point, occurrence of these two kinds of spores, that is heterospory, is first seen in Pteropsida. ठीक है, it is seen in very few genera though. अभी यहाँ पे there is a progression. हम अभी तक देख रहे थे कि there was something called as homospory, यानी कि same type के spores बन रहे थे. From now on, that is from Pteropsida, we see that we have heterospory. Heterospory यानी कि दो अलग टाइप के स्पोर बनेंगे. ठीक है. So what are the few genera in which this is seen? Selaginella, Salvinia, Azolla and Marsalia. S-A-M-S. SAMS. SAMS will show heterospory. कौन से एग्जाम्पल है? Selaginella, Azolla, Marsalia and Salvinia. ठीक है. Good. So it's very important step in the evolution of seed habit in higher plants. So how this led to the seed habit formation, we'll see in the next video. The next video, guys, will be covering gymnosperms and angiosperms, which were the first kind of which is the first division in plants which gave rise to something called as the seed habit. ठीक है. So today we've learned all about bryophytes and pteridophytes, and how from plant amphibia we've gone to evolution of a proper vasculature. ठीक है. And pteridophytes were the first successful land plants. So in the next class we'll be learning about gymnosperms and of course angiosperms, the flowering plants. Bye.